We'll start you with Eric Wilson.
Hey, Gabby, good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. I'm sure you probably got asked this question. This is my first chance really speaking to you. So can you just speak about your time in the bubble, the relationship with the ladies, and just, with 1 week left in training camp, getting yourself ready for the season?
It's been interesting. It's been fun though. I like my roommates. I'm with Steph Allen, so that's been really fun. And it just kind of feels like a bit of a college atmosphere again. It's been very interesting, but just trying to make the best of it and find all the positives. And training camp, like I talked to you last time, we're going through the growing pains of just kind of fighting through getting back into basketball shape. This year is particularly hard because we had about 3 to 4 months without playing actual basketball. So just trying to get in shape.
Is there one aspect of your game that you're focused on right now to prepare you for this season?
Just playing face up from the wing, coming off of ball screens, controlling my pace, and just kind of slowing myself down and reading the defense better, just working on my offensive game.
Thank you.
Ali Rowe.
Bonjour. I'm loving your bangs. Very cute.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Très bien, très bien. Okay, I wanted to find out I'm sorry this is a redundant question, but I haven't talked to you yet. So I wanted to find out where you were when the pandemic kind of hit, how you got home, and then what you've been doing in your time by yourself.
When the pandemic hit, I was still in Montpellier, France, which I'm so thankful for. I think it was the best place to be during the pandemic. I mean, France handled everything so well with the quarantine and the regulations. I was still getting paid because in France we have a thing called chômage where you get 84% of whatever you're making. So I was still getting paid, still had my apartment, had the beach. And I mean, I'm half French, so I wasn't in a place that felt foreign to me. So it was okay. I was happy just trying to make the best of it like everyone else.
And then how did you get home, and what were some of the restrictions you faced kind of getting back here and getting acclimated?
It was actually pretty scary when I came back. It was funny because a lot of people were like, come back to America. And I'm like, do you realize how dangerous it is there? Like in France, it was much safer. So in Paris, I flew to Paris and my plane was almost completely empty. There was a lot of temperature checks, all those things, regulations. And then I flew into Atlanta and it felt like it was just any other regular travel day. Even the employees weren't wearing masks. So I was like, yep, definitely back in America.
Thank you.
Sophie Dumont.
Hey, Gabby, good morning.
Good morning.
So you mentioned that you're really focused on personal development and elevating your game this season. So reflecting back on your time in France and playing overseas, can you share more about how that experience has allowed you to inch closer to that goal this season?
Yeah, I feel like for probably the majority, if not all of my career, I've always just kind of been the piece that just kind of gets fit wherever we're missing. So if we're missing a 4, I play the 4. If we're missing a point guard, I play the point guard, whatever it is. And so France was kind of the first time I got a chance to play what I wanted to play. And that's fine. Like, I love being that person for the team, but it was just a different experience for me in France to actually work on what I wanted to work on and play the position I wanted to play. And, I was playing for Edwige Lawson's team, James's wife. So, of course, James knew everything that I was doing in France and knew everything I was working on, and we stayed in touch. And, we just talked about this season, just building off of that and keeping that going.
Yeah, and a follow-up question to that. As you continue to grow and evolve in the game, what are some things that keep you motivated and inspired?
Just seeing how far I've come, and that's one of my favorite things about the game is just learning and just being in the gym, doing my individuals, and just kind of being in the lab. That's one of my favorite parts of the game. So that keeps me motivated, just that there's always something that I can learn and always a place where I can grow.
Definitely. And my last question is, this is a tough season with almost back-to-back games. So what mentality are you carrying throughout this journey to keep you, fueled and ready on the court?
That's going to be tough. I guess I'll know when it happens because, of course, it's going to be easy for me to say right now, oh, listen to my body and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in season, it's a completely different feeling. So I don't really know how to answer that. I guess I'll just have to wait and see when it happens.
Awesome. Thank you, Gabby. Good luck.
Thank you.
Allison Moran.
Hi, Gabby. Nice to see you. And I agree, your bangs look great. So I wondered what your mental preparation has been, and also what did you do to work out while you were in France and, to keep yourself in shape and things like that?
So when I was in France, I literally lived right on the beach. So I was doing some beach workouts and just the sunrise and sunsets were absolutely gorgeous. So that was always good motivation for me to just go running or take my rollerblades and just go down the sidewalk along the beach. And then I was doing a lot of home HIIT workouts, and it was a good time for me to focus on the things that are unfixable during season as far as injury. So, I got to do some rehab for my knees and my back and all those things.
Great. And talk about your mental preparation as well. What's going on in your mind at this point?
Yeah, mentally just approaching it like it's we're not in the bubble, like it's any other season. And to be honest, it hasn't been that hard to think that way because this is real, and I'm just trying to get through these aches and pains of training camp and just focus on the next day or the next practice, whatever it is, and just taking it because I don't know what's going to happen in a week or two. I don't think anybody does or where we're going to be. So just focusing on what's right in front of me.
Do you, one last question, do you have an expectation of what's going to happen? Last year was so good, and what is your idea of what's going to happen this year?
Expectation for us as a team or just the bubble, us as a team?
Yeah, as a team.
We're going to be in the run to win a championship. I think that's the expectation we all have. We're not thinking playoffs. We're not thinking, 20 win, whatever. We're thinking about winning a championship. And I think that's our expectation.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Meister.
Hi, Gabby. You said a couple days ago that your shot's been looking really good, and I know you've been working a lot on it. So what in the last, couple of days or so have you seen just on the floor with it and how it's changed?
It feels a lot smoother, and I'm hesitating a lot less, having more confidence. When I worked with Nico Perez in France, I learned a lot and just talked about the sensation, the feeling of what a good shot feels like. And then, of course, coming here and working with Olaf and just getting my release quicker. Getting the ball to my shot pocket quicker, just things like that, and just making me more efficient and less hesitant as a shooter.
Thank you.
James K.
Hey, Gabby, thanks for joining us. Your coach, James Wade, he wrote a real touching piece for the Players Tribune that came out yesterday. And I know that Sydney Colson as well is going to be wearing Breonna Taylor's name on her jersey. Out of curiosity, what is can you share what the team's plans are into, just having a dialogue with social justice and what's happening in the country right now?
Yes, thank you for finally asking. So we have something called Sky for Change, and we are working with a foundation called By the Hand, which works with communities in Chicago. And so my biggest goal was I think it's great to have, Black Lives Matter written on the court, Breonna Taylor's name, and all these things. These need to be shown, but they need to go beyond just awareness. It needs to go beyond performatives. And us as a team, we all wanted to do something that felt personal and felt like we were taking action. So we're going to be donating $10 for every point and $100 for every win to By the Hand. And just keep an eye out for Sky for Change throughout the season because there's going to be numerous charities that we're going to be working with all season.
That's incredible. You mentioned that you're going to like help out some of those communities. Can you go into specific ones by chance?
Well, most of them will be Chicago based. Me personally, I'm going to be working with the Chicago Bond Fund to release people who are on bond and can't afford to pay. By the Hand, they work with building infrastructures and things like that for the youth and communities in Chicago, such as, you know, in inner city, you might find a lot of liquor stores, but no healthy markets for kids to eat. So kids got to drive 40 minutes just to find healthy food, which doesn't happen. So they're going to build these things in these neighborhoods.
Great. Thank you so much.
One last question for Gabby from Eric Wilson.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that website again and just a little more, you know, some of the other organizations. Could you just repeat that, please? I was writing them down, trying to get them all down.
For sure. So it's called Sky, 4 Change. And that's what we're going to be using all year for our fans to possibly match our donations or other brands to match them and try to raise as much money as possible. And the names of the organizations, mine was called the Chicago Community Bond Fund. By the Hand is the main organization we'll be donating to. I know Steph's working, you can ask her about it. It's called Brave Space, which is LGBTQ foundation in Chicago, led by Black trans people.
Okay, thank you.
Have us all on our website, and a formal announcement from the team will be coming, from all the players and why they started this will be coming this week as well.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, Gabby. We'll have Steph next.
Thanks, Gabby.